What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of MLB Crunch Time. I am your host, TJ Zwarich, joined by Tasteful Tides, Tim Buell. How you doing this morning?
Doing well, TJ. I'm trying to play amateur weatherman right now. That's what I'm currently doing. I'm on weather.com looking at the radar for Bronx, New York, just in case there's any issues with this Yankees game, but I don't think there will be. So I think we'll be fine. There's a good window, good gap to get this game in with no issue with rain. So that's really good because we only have 3 games. So we really need this game to go.
We are no Kevin Roth, but we're going to do our best with the weather, and we're going to be doing our best Roth impressions as I'm hosting this morning's Crunch Time. You're hosting this evening's Crunch Time. I guess it's not even morning anymore on the East Coast. It's afternoon over there, but it's still morning for me, and I'm hosting, so I get to decide the time zone. I also get to decide the number of likes needed for Spidey Bomb, and hopefully some tasty taters as well. We got 75 people watching right now. It's still early. That's going to bump up. I want 40 likes for Spidey Bomb and number 1. Hopefully we can get some taters in there as well. And of course, I'll give you the best odds where you can bet those home runs as well. And if you're in a legal sports betting state, you can sign up for the Fanduel Sportsbook. Take advantage of their awesome bonus offer. New customers bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets and $100 off NFL Sunday tickets. Terms and conditions apply. Help you bet on the games, help you watch the games. Really great offer over there. Keep hammering that like button, and let's dive into this slate. It's only 3 games. I made the mistake of putting in reserving 150 lineups without actually looking at this slate. And I didn't realize that there would be a total of 0 pitchers I would want to play on the entire slate. But you live and you learn. You know, I'm gonna make the best out of it and figure it out. But I guess let's talk pitching first, Tim. You go cash, I go tournament, but it's only 3 games. We're gonna have lots of time to talk about both. Who are you prioritizing at pitcher today?
Yeah, so on FanDuel, or really on FanDuel and on DraftKings, I'm going Brian Bayo. He's significantly cheaper than JP France on FanDuel at least. He's $1,400 less. He has an elite ground ball rate. He's excellent against righties, which the Astros are primarily a right-handed team. I am really only concerned about him getting through like Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez. So Brian Bayo is my guy on FanDuel by quite a bit. You obviously can go JP France, but I think this is a really bad spot for strikeouts for JP France. So you're paying a really, really high premium, 10-1 on FanDuel to not get a lot of strikeouts. He only has I think a 4.5 strikeout prop. So that's a lot of salary to spend. On DraftKings, he's a lot cheaper, and there really aren't that many options. So I'm just going to go Bayo France as my 2 pitchers in single entry.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely the ideal single entry / cash pairing, but I'm going to take a probably stupid, but we'll see how it goes on this slate stand. And I'm going to have in my MME build, you want to know what my big stand is, Tim? I got, 88% of the pitcher. Who do you think the pitcher that I'm playing 88% of is?
The chalk guess would be Bayo.
Johnny Brito.
Really?
It's the best matchup on the board. He's coming in low ownership because he's not the starter. He's probably not going to get a full workload, but the Yankees are big favorites in this one. He should be in line for the win. It's easier to get a win if you're coming in relief as opposed to the starter. And so I am just going significantly overweight on Johnny Brito today. He would be my single entry tournament guy to try and get different on such a small slate. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It is what it is, but it's only 3 games. I'm going to try and take a big stand, and Johnny Brito is the guy I'm going with. On DraftKings, my next favorite SP2 would be France, But on FanDuel, my next favorite like chalk guy would be Brito. I agree with you there. And then I'm just mixing in all the other crappy guys in very, very small amounts as well here on this slate. But
were you making 150 on FanDuel or 150 on DK?
DraftKings.
Okay.
Yeah, so Burrito's a little bit cheaper over there. Don't have to worry about the quality starts over there.
Right.
Little, not quite as strong of a play on FanDuel, but I don't even think it's crazy to take a shot on him there either. What about stacks before we start getting into position by position? I feel like the Yankees are the top stack on the board today. They're who I'm targeting the most. I have, let's see, how much Aaron Judge do I have today in 150? 79% Aaron Judge in 150 lineups today. So they're definitely going to be my top target. And I think it's going to be followed by Tampa Bay, then Houston, then Boston for me. How about you?
Yeah, definitely New York and Tampa Bay are 1A, 1B. I know this isn't a tater, but one of my favorite bets on the board is Peter Lambert to give up over 2.5 earned runs. You can get that for minus 120 on DK. I really like the Rays today. They're gonna have some ownership, but they're gonna be less owned than the Yankees. So they also have they have a higher implied team total also. So I kind of I really like Tampa as a little bit of a pivot. Lambert gives up a higher ISO to right-handed bats, so guys like Isaac Paredes, Rosarena, I think are excellent tournament plays. Brandon Lau, I think, is great. So yeah, so it's Rays and it's Yankees for me.
2 more likes for the first Spidey Bomb, and I'll tell you what, I'll get the second Spidey Bomb in at 50 likes. So we're only 11 away from the second one. Keep hitting that like button. If you got questions, I'll be looking at the Discord live stream chat first, and secondly, I'll be going to the YouTube chat. So make sure you hit that like button, and I'll get your questions as well. We did just hit 40, so it's time for the first Spidey Bomb. And I am going to this Yankee game. Obviously, I'm not picking a guy like Aaron Judge. Plus 200 is the best odds you can get him at. That's pretty crazy. But I'm going with Harrison Bader as Spidey Bomb number 1. He's plus
that was a tater.
There it is. We're locked in again, Tim. Whenever we get the same one, it usually goes very well. So tater Spidey Bomb.
I have three bets today, and Bader was one of them. Lambert was the other one, and then I have one more tater. But yeah, that was my tater.
There it is, plus 480 on FanDuel, plus 500 on points on Bet 365. Harrison Bader, Spidey Bomb, and tater number 1. And then let's see, do we still need 7 likes for the second tater and the second Spidey Bomb. So make sure you keep hitting that like button. Let's start going position by position, shall we? Who do you like at catcher today? You don't need to play any of them on FanDuel. I think the only one I probably would play would be Yainer Diaz, and I think he definitely is the top play on DraftKings as well.
Definitely the top play, but I think I don't think he's necessary. Like Kyle Higashioka at 2,300, I think is a really good punt. Connor Wong, I think, is a decent punt as also. Diaz is definitely the top guy if you're not worried about salary, but I'd rather prioritize my salary elsewhere. So I'm going to be punting the catcher position.
I'm just thinking about the guys that you mentioned when we started talking about offenses, and I'm wondering if you may have left this guy off and he's going to be your tater, and we're going to be locked in for the number 2 tater and number 2 Spidey Bomb as well. But 5 likes away. We'll see. Keep hitting that like button. First base today, not that strong of a position considering only 3 games. Obviously, DJ LeMahieu at first or third is probably the quote-unquote top play here. But you also have Yandy Diaz, John Singleton if you want to go cheap, Dominic Smith if you want to go cheap. But I think Justin Turner is going to be my favorite guy at first base today on DraftKings, where he's eligible only at first over there. And then on FanDuel, any of these Tampa guys, Paredes, Rayleigh, Yandy Diaz, good with all of them. And I also really like Nolan Jones in tournaments today.
I was glad that you brought up Nolan Jones because I think he's going to be kind of the forgotten guy. No one's going to want to attack Colorado. nobody's going to want to use Colorado. So I think anyone with the Rockies today is, going to be very, very low owned. And on these small slates, they can get there and they can break the slate. So if I'm building out more than 20 teams, I'm definitely getting some Rocky stacks just to be different. Like, I don't think they're in a particularly good spot, but they're going to be very, very low owned.
I noticed on DraftKings it's like insanely hard to get a full Rocky stack unless you want to leave like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 on the table. And so I'm not getting that many full Rocky stacks. I did hand build a couple in there, but it's just Nolan Jones and Ryan McMahon are the two guys I'm trying to get a lot of today.
Yeah, no, I think that's a really good call. Yeah, like my single entry team today that I'm playing and everything on DK, I'm eating 1,600. It's just you stack certain teams, you're just going to be left with a lot of salary because there's just nobody to pay up for pitching. So
my highest projected lineup of the 150 I built only left 300. And it's a full Yankees stack with Diaz, McMahon, and Tucker.
Yeah, I think that's a solid team.
Gets a little bit of different in there with the Brito and the McMahon, and I think that'll hopefully be enough to get unique. But it is a 3-game slate, so you never know. We have reached over 50 likes. Time for Spidey Bomb number 2. Let's see. I'll tell you what. I'll let you go first here, Tim, on the second tater. Just so if it looks like I'm copying you instead of you copying me.
I'm going Randy Rosarena plus 480. That's my second tater.
I like it. Same team, but different guy for me. I'm going Josh Lowe plus 550 on PointsBet, plus 500 on Fanduel. Batting cleanup today. He's been hot and he's been hitting lefties. He's been hitting righties well all year long. So I'm going with Josh Lowe as Spidey Bomb number 2. Let's see if we can get maybe up to 75. I can get a third one for the people as well. Take me over to second base, Tim. For me, Gleyber Torres is the top guy here by a pretty wide margin, but I do like Brandon Lau. I do like Isaac Paredes, and nothing wrong with Jose Altuve or Pablo Lopez cheap either.
Yeah, I think you named pretty much everybody that's in play. The only other person that I'd mention who's really, dirt cheap batting third, Brandon Rogers. I think he's a quality enough hitter, and he's going to be relatively forgotten about. I don't know if you mentioned Oswald Peraza. He's the stone min on FanDuel. He is 2,700 on DK, batting ninth. You're going to need. I mean, if the Yankees go off, you're going to need to have exposure to the wraparound stack. So, I think he makes for a really, really strong tournament play.
Yeah, I like that. I think that makes complete sense. Taking it over to third base. A lot of Rays here. Yandy Diaz, Paredes, but Rafael Devers, always a strong play. Alex Bregman has some fly ball ability, so him going up against Bayo, a ground ball guy, I think is somewhat interesting. My favorite for tournaments is going to be Ryan McMahon.
Yeah, my favorite for tournaments is Paredes for the Rays. I have absolutely no issue if people want to play Devers or Bregman. That's just not the way that I'm going to be going today. Pretty expensive. I want France and Bayo to hit their maximum ceilings. So I'm going to try to keep bats away from them. So Paredes is my favorite play at third.
Taking it over to short, Anthony Volpe, CJ Abrams, both these guys in the same game, probably the two top plays on the slate. Volpe is going to be some pretty crazy chalk. I like the idea of pivoting to one of these Boston guys. You got Peraza there as well, but I really like either Pablo Reyes or Luis Arias going up against France, who is reverse splitsy.
Yeah, and then I wouldn't forget about CJ Abrams too, just because I think he's probably the best hitting shortstop that we have on the slate. So I really like him today. He's only 3K on FanDuel, 4,600 on DK. Obviously harder to get to on DraftKings, but I think on FanDuel that's a super, super good pivot off of Volpe.
Yeah, I like him today as well. in the outfield finally, and then we got 7 minutes until lock, so we got a good amount of time for QQs as well. Keep hitting that like button. Get your questions in the live stream chat and Discord. Get your questions in the YouTube chat, and we will make sure to get to all of those. Like I mentioned earlier, Aaron Judge, by far the top play on the slate. He is plus 200 is the best odds you can find him anywhere to hit a home run today. And we have him projected, I think, on Scores and Odds for like plus 100, plus 144 to hit a home run today. Tucker, Alvarez, Rosarena, Lowe, Stanton, Rayleigh, Duvall, Bader. That's like, you look at this tier and up where you got the almost rainbow on Bader and up. Those are, to me, all of the top all the top guys on the slate here, and you just mix and match them. They're all going to be decently chalky, but they're all great. You want to get different today? Nolan Jones is my favorite way to do it. I don't hate some Masataka Yoshida, but that group up top, that tier of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 guys, to me, you could almost just make that your entire pool, maybe add in Lance Thomas to make it 10, and you could probably be perfectly fine today.
Yeah, and if you're making like a bunch of teams, don't forget, like, as bad as this sounds, like, you could say leave off Stanton and put in Everson Pereira and eat the 2000, right? Like, he you know, it's crazier things that happen to have Pereira outscore Stanton. So, like, those are the types of things that you need to do to be unique in a 150 setting. So he's the stone min, batting 7th. In a really good spot. So I just want to throw that out there just because it's a way of being different in a large field setting.
And it's not exactly like Stanton's been hitting the ball particularly well lately either. He's kind of been struggling a little bit. So I don't hate the idea of taking that shot in tournaments. I did just like hand build switch something where I switched Pereira and Peraza in for Stanton and Stanton and LeMahieu just to get things a little bit different.
Yeah.
But let's start looking at some QQs here. I'll look at the Discord first. Live stream chat. We usually don't have too many in the Discord for these early ones. Any love for Lambert on Fanduel?
Not really. I guess he could get there. One of my favorite bets is betting his over 2.5 earned runs. So I don't have that much interest in Lambert.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there. I think he is probably going to be tough to get to today. We don't have very many QQs, so heck, maybe we'll even get out of here a little bit early. It is a 3-game slate, but if you got any questions, get them in there. Get them in there quick. You got a 1v1, you got a 2v2. If it's about life, if it's you got some life advice you need help with, get it in. We still got a few more minutes here, but if not, it looks like we will get out of here a little bit early. Tim and I are going to be back for crunch time later in the day, and then I believe there's a nice Grinders live show before us as well, despite it being a nice short slate. So you got Dean, Bobby, and Chop for some Grinders live, and then you got myself, Tim, and Cardi for crunch time later today. So great shows all day long. Make sure you tune in. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Good luck on all your early slate contests today. And on behalf of myself, Tim, Steve behind the scenes, whole RG team, good luck. We'll see you later. You have been crunched.